Hi, it's Kevin McLeod coming to you from Crispy Clean Aquariums and all our other groups. Today we're going to talk about sponge filters. Many of you have used sponge filters and know about them. Simple sponge filter, two-sided, suction cup gets attached to the side. Water gets pulled through the sponges by the air, and the air comes out the top along with the water. Great biological filtration. The mechanical filtration gets stuck to the front or the sides, however it's set up. Biological filtration goes on the inside of the filter. No chemical filtration at all, unless you have certain special carbon sponges which you need to replace, which defeats the whole purpose. Sometimes they'll corrugate them like this to give you a little bit more surface area to filter with. What this does though is it takes up a fair amount of your space. Fish can hide underneath it, they can get behind it. This is a corner one, you want to keep it away from the corner so that fish can actually swim around it. Otherwise they'll swim behind it and get stuck, die. That's happened to me quite a few times. Different shapes and sizes. Here's one that just sort of sits on the bottom. Gives a little cover here. Sometimes the fish like to hang out underneath that and also hide. Great thing about sponge filters is they do give you great filtration. You can use them to jumpstart other tanks if you need to. If you need to get a quarantine tank up and running really quick, you can just pull a sponge out of one tank, put it in another tank. Don't put it back, but you can move it over to your quarantine tank to get it going. Once your quarantine tank is done, clean the sponge. But today we're going to talk about matte filters. They go by several names: matte filters, Hamburg filters, matte Hamburger filters. You can Google those. There's a lot of different names that they may go by. The whole idea behind this matte filter is depending on the aspect of your tank. You can use a matte filter instead of a traditional sponge filter like this. What it gives you is tenfold amount of filtration, no volume loss in your water, and a cleaner looking tank. Here's how a matte filter works. This is a 10-gallon tank. Looking from the front, I've divided it in half. 10-gallon tank. Across the entire back panel of the tank is a 2-inch piece of sponge. The entire height of the tank, side to side. Now it's only 3/4 of an inch from the back glass. Behind there I have 3/4 inch PVC with a bubbler at the very bottom. Pulls the water up through an elbow and out the front. What this does is it uses the entire surface area of this sponge to draw water through at a very slow rate, draws it through, pulls it up and back into the tank. You lose no tank volume, but what you do gain is a simpler, cleaner looking tank. You don't have this obnoxious looking sponge filter in it. And you can see the bubbles coming out the back. It also provides a huge surface area because you're using the entire back panel of the 10-gallon tank. You can use many different size tanks to do this. You can turn it sideways, but then you see the back side of that matte filter. I like to set them up this way, so you're looking into the back and it looks like you just have a black painted background. A lot of your debris and such will get trapped into that sponge filter, and then it will also become food for your inhabitants. I divided this tank and put a piece of plexiglass here and split it right down the center on that discharge so I get a little bit on both. Now the tank is not truly divided. Water from one side goes to the other side and back and forth, so it's not a quarantine tank, but I can have one size fry on one side and another size on the other side and keep them separated that way. I also put a inside the discharge line there, I put a small piece of foam, very coarse foam, but so that the fry can't sneak in there and onto the other side and eat their smaller brothers. That's about all there is to a matte filter. All you need is a 2-inch piece of foam the size of your back glass. You need some PVC. I use 3/4 inch, a bubbler, and an air line, and just drill a hole in the top of the 90 and run the air line down. Rather simple, doesn't cost much. This one I bought pre-made and it cost $14. $14 filter on a 10-gallon tank. It is the higher quality plastic, so it will last 10 years. Need to take it out every couple of months to clean it. They work great. I am really a fan of these. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you again.